Good evening, everyone. My name is Brianne Musakiwa. I'm the CFO of Coronation Fund Managers, and my partner here is Candice Joshua, who is the principal of the school. We're going to tell our story in pretty much a mixture of parts, our journey, what we were able to achieve this year, and more importantly, what we look forward to being able to achieve in the future. And by far the most important thing that we got out of this was a friendship that we believe is going to continue into the future.
Good evening, everybody. As Marianne said, I'm Candice Joshua. I'm the principal of Lourier Primary School. We deliberately asked the gentleman to announce the school's name in that fashion. On the Cape Flats, it's not said that way, though, but my school believes that we are a Model C school in Kavda. So, if you've never been to Kavda, it's very close to where Ridwan's school is, but he's on the leafy side. Our school is very close to Lavender Hill, a pocket very close to Lavender Hill. So I'm sure you would have read what the context of Lavender Hill is, and that's pretty much the context of our school. I'm not going to stand here this evening and explain to you all the challenges of the school, because we hear it too often. I think what the journey has meant for me was looking beyond the challenges. So, our journey, what is a journey? The dictionary defines it as traveling from one place to another, sometimes alone, sometimes in a group. But I was very fortunate. And Ridwan, I just want to upstage you a little bit, because you have said that you are the most handsomest principal, and I agree with you. I want to take the title for being the first principal straight out of college. So, and no, that's just a joke. It's not really true. So I've been very blessed that PFP invited me to join the organization, and even more blessed that I have encountered and crossed paths with somebody as gracious as Marianne. I'm throwing Marianne under the bus, guys, because we had a fully prepared presentation, word for word, but me being the ADHD person that I am, the misunderstood person, I can't remember anything from the presentation. So I'm sorry, Marianne. So the journey for me is very real. I initially walked into the role and I could have been walking alone. But because of PFP, I was not walking the journey alone. I am not walking the journey alone. I have someone like Marianne who's walking alongside me. And for me, the journey was never about money. It was never about the resources, because when you come from poverty, you tend to realize that money is not the only thing that's going to save you. You need way more than that. So for me, the human resource aspect is most important. And Marianne and Coronation, they have invested in the people at the school. And they've taken the staff along with myself on the PFP journey. Through their sponsorship, my whole staff had the pleasure of attending Time to Think. My whole SMT attended the community building session. My whole staff had the privilege of listening to Sadiq, who has motivated our group, but he brought that spirit to my staff and he could share what this journey is all about. And in so doing, to quote Lindsay, that building the people at the top is most important. Because if we see things differently, ultimately that child is going to see beyond that poverty. And that is what we ultimately hope for. And I just want to say thank you to everybody involved, to our circle, to Sadiq, To Mary Ann, to Coordination, thank you very much. It has been a wonderful journey for me, and I know that the two of us are going to continue on the journey. And Sadiq, you've already said you will never leave, so that's unquestionable. So thank you, and thank you to all the wonderful business leaders and other principals that I've met and that I could learn from, especially since I'm straight out of college. So thank you very much, everybody.
Now that my partner has thrown us under the bus, I think I'll freestyle as well. I think as business, we have a very linear view of what the world looks like. It is income statements, balance sheets, it's profits, it's revenues and expenses, and because we think we're really smart people, we think that we know pretty much how the world works. One of the most important parts of this journey for me, and the most humbling part of this journey for me, is to understand the strengths that exist in the principles that I have encountered and in the journeys that they live that are probably far more challenging than what it is that I do. I thought I knew a little bit about the situation in education in South Africa until I started this program. And when I started this program, I realized the true depths of the challenges that are faced by the principals and the teachers in these wonderful schools whose entire sole purpose is the future of this country. And that's very humbling. It brought me to a place where I got to see who the true heroes of South Africa are. To work in an area where it is not necessarily safe for you to be there, to see kids who don't have access to resources, to be underpaid, overworked, turned into an administrator, and to still come back every single day wanting to do it and wanting to contribute to these children, for me, is truly phenomenal. My journey with Candice has become a friendship. I realized the key moment for me was I went to the school and we had a whole agenda about what we were going to talk about, and we didn't talk about it at all. We literally realized 2.5 hours later that it was 2.5 hours later and we had allocated an hour, but we had spent that time talking to each other and nurturing each other. We had both pretty much been in similar positions. She was a new principal, I was a new CFO. We were both in organizations that were long established and that had a way of doing things, and we were both trying to find our feet. So it was almost like finding a sister who was going through the same things that I was going through, who I could speak to. We have spoken a lot about what we would like to do with the school, but because we do not believe that this is a one-year conversation or a one-year journey or a one-year relationship, we're still looking at what it is that we fundamentally want to do. And what we want to do won't be just for the students, it will also be for the teachers at that school. I was able to join them for their Time to Think session, and for me it was an opportunity to get to know the rest of the heroes of that school and to engage with them and to realize that there is so much that needs to be done for the school, that this has to be a long-term journey. Coronation has a philosophy and values around our CSR. The first one is we're in it for the long term. Tick, Candice and I have that. We take a holistic approach. Well, we're taking our time to see what it is that we want to do. We've decided that what we would like to focus on is an extramural program for the students of the school, given that the area doesn't give them anything that they can really do after school. We're active participants, and I think that is something that I've always had, but has truly been enriched in this particular process. And it's important to always look at what it is, the outcome that we would want. I think the first year of Candice and I's relationship has been successful because we were able to build a relationship. We're able to build a relationship that will go beyond this program and that will continue for the foreseeable future. So thank you to PFP for this program and its existence. Thank you to Sadiq for everything that you have done and the champion that you are for all of us in this room. Thank you to the other principals and the business leaders for your support and for sharing and being truly authentic and vulnerable in the sessions that we had together, which allowed us to also open up and learn. This has been a true gift for me and will continue to nurture me. And thank you for this opportunity.